Today on Locked On Red Wings, Detroit stifled in Carolina, but they come away with a big win on Sunday over the Lightning.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. I'm a podcast producer for the daily JAWWJ News Radio podcast. Well, Scotty's host over at Locked On Tigers, as well as a freelance journalist for the Detroit News. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. Scotty, got a couple of
Brian,
games recap. What's up?
We own Tampa. We own the city of Tampa. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Sunday was awesome.
Last weekend it was Wings beat Kings, Lions beat
LA.
This weekend it was Lions beat Bucks, Wings beat Lightning, and it was funny. The same thing happened back in October. Same weekend, the Lightning and Bucks both faced off with the respective Detroit teams. They came away with wins then too. So yeah, they own. You didn't even have the state of Florida in there. We can snap a 10-game losing streak with Florida Panthers this week as well. So
just everybody, maybe like
yeah. Listen, 7-1-1 in the month of January to not just get the Red Wings back into the playoff hunt, but to elevate them in the mix for the divisional spot. So obviously we talked going into the weekend back-to-back. Weekend back-to-back is not right, but the weekend slate going against Carolina, the Wings were third in the division. Then they lost against Carolina. Tampa got a win, so Tampa took third place. Well, now they're right back, tied in points, but have it on point percentage, third place in the Atlantic Division. And, you know, the most crucial part, Scotty, of this 7-1-1 January is 3-0 over Atlantic Division teams. They beat the Leafs, they beat Florida, and they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. And those are, I mean, you got to beat everyone in your division, but those three are the main three teams that the Wings are battling with in their own division for a playoff spot. Obviously, Florida, a little bit further ahead than every other team, but Toronto and Tampa, those two games in particular are crucial wins, even if it's January with another 30 games to go.
Yeah, man. It's so wild to, like, early on in January, we were talking about how tough the Wings January was, and we were talking about the tough schedule, especially in the second half of the month, and how, like, they were losing footing in the division and had a tough stretch coming up, and it just didn't bode very well. And it has boded wonderfully, Brian. It could not have boded better, to be honest, for the Wings. It's just been such a fun stretch of hockey since the calendar year turned over, and they're beating, like you said, not only good teams, but good teams in their own division. Huge, you know, we've been talking about divisional wins all season and how important they are and whatnot. It's just an awesome stretch, and they have absolutely stepped up to this big, you know, daunting January schedule that we talked so much about early on in the month, and just absolutely blown past everybody's expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously we have to start with the game they lost, so it takes a little bit out of the wind of their sails. And I think that Carolina game, Scotty, kind of went exactly as you would expect against a team like the Hurricanes. You know, I mentioned on Friday's episode that, you know, there was a path to victory here for the Red Wings, and it's taking advantage of their odd man rushes because the Wings weren't going to outpossess the Carolina Hurricanes regardless. Because that's just the Hurricanes play a possession heavy game, and the Wings
was a crazy hockey
do not. I mean, the Wings had a season low 13. Now it's been, mind you, retconned to 12. The Wings had 12 shots in that hockey game and still scored 2 goals. But that's because they took advantage of rush opportunities. And there were even more rush opportunities where the Red Wings elected to pass rather than shoot. That just obviously didn't work out in the Red Wings' favor. So that game, I mean, I guess if I'm going to say my one word to describe that game, right, and we're trying to stay on the trend of that, it's going to be expected, because facing the Carolina Hurricanes, who just shut everything down, forecheck the hell out of you, and just don't give you the puck. I mean, having 12 shots, I didn't expect that few of shots, but that's Dude, not out of the possibility.
Those shot total stats in that game were asinine. They were like something out of a video game. It was really remarkable in the most negative connotation from our perspective, at least. The fact that was even a close game, I give a lot of props for. And we talked about it. They're going to suppress your shots. You're not going to get a lot of shots, but if you can get shots on net, you're going to have an opportunity because their goaltending's been so rough this year. And that's what happened. That was, this was a 1-goal game in, late in the third. This was a close game throughout. Pretty much the entire game was close. And when it comes to, I was watching with my roommate and it was just like, this is the definition of a Carolina Hurricanes hockey game. Like they're definitely playing the Canes right now. It was very low. We talked so much at the beginning of the year about low event hockey. That team epitomizes low event hockey. And it certainly was a low event hockey game that was played on Friday night. But like I said, I give them credit. It's nearly impossible to really just put up a ton of shots against them, right? Like that's just the team that they are. That this is just what they do. But I do give the Wings credit for, again, finding ways to get the puck on the net. And getting pucks deep, at least to have an opportunity to win that hockey game late and at least make it a close game.
Yeah, obviously we talk about taking advantage of poor goaltending, and like you said, that's what they did on both times. Both of their goals were opportunities off the rush. Joe Veleno finding Klim Kostin breaking in late. Klim that was the epitome of a bad goal for Antti Ranta. It went off his glove and then just trickled past. Like that's a save that he's got to make. And that's what we talk about, where you got to take advantage off the rush. The Red Wings just didn't do it enough. They got a rush opportunity on the power play. Dylan Larkin on a 2-on-1 found JT Compher, who buried it for his 10th goal of the year. I think that's the 6th Red Wing to have 10 goals or more on the season. So they're getting, like we were saying, goals from everywhere on the roster, because the Red Wings don't have that one elite hockey player, but they have a full roster full of guys who can contribute. And that's continued to happen. But it wasn't enough because Carolina just shut everything else down. And the few rush attempts that the Wings did have, they would elect to pass instead of having I think it might have been Christian Fischer, who early in the first or early in the second got the puck in the high slot, no pressure on him. All he had to do was beat Antti Ranta with a shot, and he elected to make a pass that got broken up. And it's like, dude, you don't want to be shoot the puck guy, but we said this with Lucas Raymond early in the season. If you get the puck in the high slot and there's nobody around you, like that is when you're going to have the most opportunities. Obviously, the goalie is going to come out and challenge you, try and take the angles away, but you have every corner of the net to shoot when you're high in the slot like that. That is like the place you want to be as a shooter. And he elected to pass. And it's just, you can't do that and expect to win hockey games that often, because they like to do that. They like to do this, and you see it a lot, and it has worked out a lot, especially with Patrick Kane or Alex DeBrincat on the side of the net. They like to make that one more pass down low to the side because the goalie's not expecting that. But they clearly watched tape, and they knew exactly what the Wings were going for. God dang, do the Hurricanes just forecheck the ever-living hell out of the Wings. It's crazy.
It's remarkable. Like, it to the point where you ask, like, how they're able to do it, just because, like, we talk about, early in the season, we had this conversation a lot more than I guess lately, but early in the year, we had so many conversations about, like, man, the Wings look really good when they're forechecking aggressively, but they can only do it for 2 periods, and then it just completely falls off the tracks in the third. I would love to know how the Canes are able to do this 3 periods every night for 82 games, because it is pretty remarkable.
Did you see Daniel Sprong, by the way? This is completely off topic.
I saw Daniel Sprong, yeah.
Where he's like, Twitter told me to shoot more.
Yeah, hilarious. He's like, yeah, Twitter wants me to shoot more, so I'm glad I shot it.
I'm glad he shot it too. Twitter was right about something.
Hey.
Daniel Sprong should shoot more.
Yes. No, yeah. What a great game he had. We'll get to, obviously.
But yeah, I don't know, Scotty. There's not really much to talk about this game because it was so boring. Like the Wings just really didn't do anything. Yeah. And it went exactly how you expected. The Carolina Hurricanes had a 66% share of the shot attempts. At the end of the game, the Hurricanes had 60 shot attempts on the net to the Detroit Red Wings 30. Like, that's crazy how few shot attempts. And that's only at 5-on-5. 65 on 5 shot attempts. That's a lot. Yeah, and then they had a 69.15% share at the quality shot attempts, the expected goals for at 5-on-5. I mean, you watch if you guys use Natural Stat Trick and you use their breakdown tool, they have a game flow, and it's based on Corsi. And as the game goes on, that chart just clearly just upwards the entire time on a linear rise. And by the end of the game for the Hurricanes, it's like all the way at the very top. And that's like plus 35 territory in Corsi percentage. It's the Hurricanes just dominated that game. And while the Wings, like last year, Jake Woolman had that game winner with like 3 seconds left at the game. It was pretty fun. The Wings have fun. You can pull it out because the Hurricanes. Sit? I was like, I think I was in, that was the one where I was in one of those. It wasn't like a suite, but it was like in one of those like pseudo suites. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that you got me off topic now. You derailed me.
Sorry. Nice, I was sitting in the nosebleeds. I went to the
you went to tonight's game, right?
To the Sunday night game. Well, dude, obviously it was gritty bobblehead night.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get one. My roommate and I went. We didn't get one. No, dude. So we didn't get one, and the people behind us in line had made a comment where they said that one of their friends got there 2 hours early and didn't even get one. So I was like, well, that was never going to happen on my end. So like, I don't feel really that bad anymore. If I missed it by like 10 minutes, I'd be pissed. But like, I was never going to wait like 2.5 hours for that. So
yeah. So, well, I guess we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk about Tampa for the last 2 segments. Because let's be honest, that's what people probably want us to talk about anyways. So we'll take a quick break and we'll return in segment 2 to talk about that. Stay tuned. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers.
Burn rubber, not cash. It's such a bar.
That it is. Segment 2, Locked On Red Wings podcast. Scott, I think this is as good a time as any now to kind of mention, obviously, fun little anecdote about the Hurricanes game. Ben Sherratt was the only player on the Red Wings to have an expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5 above 50%. It was like 50.15. He got injured in that game and did not return. And he is now day-to-day, did not play against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Patrick Kane saw a doctor on Sunday as well for his injury. Clearly did not play against the Tampa Bay Lightning either. And Brogan Rafferty had, again, been recalled from the Griffins to sit in the press box for the Detroit Red Wings just in case another defenseman went down. The Kane thing, we don't know anything about Ben Sherratt. We don't know anything about Patrick Kane. They're so tight-lipped about it. But I believe I heard on the broadcast, when I heard that he was going to see a doctor for further evaluation, I was like, oh, man, this could be worse. But I think Ken Daniels said during the broadcast that the doctors thought that it wasn't anything serious. I could be misremembering that, but that is what I believe that I heard on the broadcast, which would be reassuring because this team, despite the 2-1 win, which we got to talk about that as well, like a close, grinded out win. This team needs Patrick Kane. He's been so good for the Red Wings this year. So hopefully, quick recovery.
You look at the point totals, you would not believe how much fewer games he has played than the people that he is above already in season points. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Scotty, when talking about the Tampa Bay game, there's so many places you could go with this, but I guess the first thing you got to do, right, is what's your one word?
Man. I don't even know. I didn't brainstorm a word, and I don't even know if I did, it would have helped me.
There's one word on his mind right now, and it's Lions. That's the only thing circulating in his brain.
It certainly is a big one. Like I said, I was at this game. Electric atmosphere, man. Like it was. I mean, just like walking through downtown and like walking to the wings as the Lions people are all walking like to to home or to their cars or whatever, and just everybody is just like shouting and like go Lions, go Wings, like go. Like it was the coolest atmosphere ever in the arena. Absolute electric factory. Everyone was really riled up, obviously, after the Lions game, and then the third period, it was very loud, and it's just, I don't know. My word is Detroit. I don't know. I love this place, and it was such an unbelievably cool, just like atmosphere outside the arena, in the arena, during the game. Obviously the Lions game was a whole different level of atmosphere. Just the vibe in the city today was unmatched.
How much Honolulu Blue was in the stadium?
Honestly, not as much as I thought. A lot of people were doing like Wings jersey, Lions hat, or vice versa, or something. Like they were still, because a lot of people double dipped, right, and did the double header and did just straight Lions, then straight to the Wings. So
yeah, I mean, if you can afford a Lions ticket, you can definitely afford a Wings ticket.
Right. Yeah, that's a bender right there. That's an expensive day out in the D. But yeah, man, it was so cool. Everything, all the people were so awesome. Everybody just celebrating and shouting, and it unmatched. Truly, haven't experienced a day like, and I didn't even go to the Lions game, but that I haven't experienced a day in the city like that maybe ever. It was really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not on topic of the game at all, which we have to do, but like that's like the only thing on my mind was just like, that was awesome. Like the win was awesome. Our section rocked. Like it was just like everything was great, man. Everything was awesome.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And, that it's not necessarily about the game, but it is relevant to the story of Detroit. And I'm sure it's on the minds of many people. Obviously, I'm wearing a Lions hat right now in celebration, kind of as they charge their way to San Francisco for the NFC title game. It's pumped up. It's great. And then to sweep Tampa on the same night, it was a great feeling. And the Red Wings, Scotty, they were an electric factory in this game. And I guess I have to say my word, right? My word is impressed, because this is a hockey team that does not outpossess their opponents. Like, this is a team, and we talked about it in last segment. We've talked about it every single time they win a game. You look at the advanced analytics, they are always outshot attempted. They're almost always outshot. And when you look at the expected goals, the other team's always expected to have more goals. And they're carried by off the rush goals, and they're carried by goaltending right now with Alex Line. And Alex Line was spectacular. He had a sub 900 game against Carolina. Derek Lillo, no hesitation, went right back to him, and he had a 9.64 save percentage, 1 goal on 28 shot attempts in this game. He was lights out again. And the first 40 minutes was all Red Wings. The Lightning had 10 shots through 40 minutes. This is a game that the Red Wings clearly knew the stakes. They were 2 points behind the Lightning coming into this game. Red Wings are second in the wild card. Lightning were third in the division. They knew that they had to have this game, one, to keep up in the wild card, or not even the wild card, but the divisional race right now, but also to help convince Steve Yzerman, like, hey, dude, do not sell this time. Like, we're ready. And I know it's still 2 months away, but these divisional games just carry so much more weight. I talk about it. When you play these divisional games, it almost feels like more than a 2-point swing. It's a 4-point swing, because not only you not getting 2 points if you lose, the team you're battling with gets 4. So you go from being down potentially by 4 points in the division to now not just being tied, but having the third place spots on point percentage, because you have 1 fewer game played than the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they came out ready, they came out prepared, and they were slinging that puck. Clearly, they were upset based on Friday at having 12 shots on net, and through 2 periods, they had 30 already. They were absolutely fantastic. Obviously, a great play by the Lightning for the first goal. With 9 minutes left in the first period, the Lightning scored. Victor Hedman, Nikita Kucherov, fantastic passing play, drawing both Fabry and Larkin away from Victor Hedman at the point. David Perron showing no effort on the back check, and they just bury it. But from that point on, 9 minutes left in the first period, the Lightning did not register a shot on goal. Like, it's just a great first 40 minutes.
Yeah, man, absolutely. High energy hockey, man. And yeah, I thought, you know, this obviously wasn't a game where either team necessarily like really stuffed the score sheet, but this was a high paced game. Both goaltenders were incredible. Vasilevsky was wild. Some unbelievable saves in this game, even though he's not even having really a great traditional year, I guess, for his standards at this point. But yeah, man, this was a really high pace game. The Red Wings pushed the tempo a lot, which obviously we like and we talk about often. And yeah, there's a lot of individuals, obviously, that I want to point out, but we can do that after the break.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just so much to talk about, right? This game was fantastic. For a 2-1 win, there was so much that happened.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in segment 3 of Locked On Red Wings. The NFL season is into the postseason, and we head to the NFC Championship game next week. And as the Lions play the San Francisco 49ers, the 3 seed versus the 1 seed, and it's going to be electric. And now is the right time. I mean, there's never a better time, really, to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is so easy to use. There are so many ways to bet with things like live same-game parlays. Find bets in the new Explore tab and make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make sure that you bet on the Lions in the NFC Championship game. That's a personal tidbit by me. What it really says here is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Segment 3, Locked On Red Wings podcast.
You like my finger roll there?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It's right off.
Yeah, but everything you do is just so beautiful. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I was I had a few finger rolls back in the day.
You're so ridiculous. So you said there was a couple players you wanted to give some personal shout outs to Scotty in this hockey game.
Yeah. Well, I guess I first thing that came to my mind just now was the penalty kill yet again. That's obviously a lot of people, but thought the PK was really solid. Man.
Oh, yes.
Really, really solid.
That doesn't even describe it.
Yeah, scrambling all over the place at times. There's a couple of scrambles, big scrambles in front of the net. But yeah, man, this was a PK masterclass. To be honest, getting it out of the zone, it's a miracle, right? Like that's like the one thing that obviously the penalty kill's been fantastic over the last couple of weeks, but just as a team, like the one thing that this team, even strength penalty kill doesn't matter, has struggled with, and we've talked about a lot, is just the lack of ability to get it out of their own zone sometimes. And I thought that they did a really, really, really much improved job in this game of doing that. So yeah, I guess I want to start off with the penalty kill there, and just a lot of good things happening on that unit just in the last 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, and the Lightning have the best power play in the league. So that every single time they would go out there as a unit, it was a potentially, game-changing penalty kill. Especially in a 1-goal game against the best power play in the league, it mattered every time. It always matters, but none more so in this game against this power play did it matter. And they came up huge. And defensive pairs with Sherrod out had a huge shakeup. Obviously, Wollman and Sider stayed together, but now you had Petrie and Oli Mata as your second pair. And then I believe Justin Holl and Gostisbehere.
Was skating today, bud. I don't know what the metrics are going to say about him, but he was all over the place, man. I thought he was skating well. I didn't think he looked bad out there.
No, and I thought as a whole, the team, now the third period was its own entity. That was a third period push like I've never seen from the Lightning.
They had like crazy. 20 shots in the third or something.
Yeah, and that Alex Lyon comes away with like a 2.33 goal saved above expected because of that. Because the push. Period. Well, like here, let me give you the numbers, right? So in the first period, the Red Wings had 24 shot attempts for, 10 against, and 5-on-5 for a 71% share. It was split even at 50% in the second period. And then the Lightning had 61%, 62% actually, if you round it up, in the third period. At expected goals for the Red Wings, 74%, 69%, and then just 30% as the Lightning has 70% share of the expected goals in the third period. Third period, all Lightning. And they survived an onslaught at 6-on-5 and then 6-on-4. The Lightning pulled the goalie with 3 minutes left. They pulled Vasilevsky with 3 minutes left, and the Red Wings survived that. Alex Lyon, obviously huge to that, but just the ability that this team showcased to survive. You know, I know we complained a lot about,
there's a pen in there too. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a penalty in there too.
The Jeff Petrie delay of game became a 6-on-4 for the last 11 seconds.
And last 11 seconds, we were sweating up there. Let me tell you, I was up, like I said, I was up in the nosebleeds. We had a fun section though. We were all talking and sweating up there, man.
But to just emphasize how good the Red Wings were for the first 40 minutes, I mean, take a look at this heat map, Scotty. Like, when was the last time you saw the Red Wings dominate in the slot like that, and then also prevent so many events
crazy impressive
on the defensive zone
on both ends. It's funny. I can remember not too long ago when we were like, wow, I don't know which heat map is worse. I don't know which side is worse. And now it's like, I don't know which one's better.
Yeah, they were absolutely just both sides of the puck, offensively and defensively were very good.
Yeah.
I thought Seider was fantastic. And you guys, listen, you look at hockey stat cards. I'm sorry. You cannot base a player's performance based on what you see on hockey stat cards because it lacks context. Moritz Seider, I'm sorry, let me restart. Nikita Kucherov played 18 minutes of 5-on-5 time. Okay?
Yeah.
Moritz Seider and Jake Wallman were out there for 15 of those minutes with Nikita Kucherov. They continually get matched up with the best player on every team. And Nikita Kucherov leads the league in points. He already has 75 points at the 42-game mark. Like, he has been absolutely fantastic. And Derek Lalonde trusts Moritz Seider to shut him down. Obviously, Kucherov had the assist on the goal in the first period. Wallman and Seider were out there for that. But through the first 20 or 40 minutes, they didn't have a single offensive zone start, and they had 8 defensive zone starts. It wasn't until the third they started getting offensive zone deployments. So I'm sorry, you look at a hockey stat card, and you see that blue bar go to the left for Wallman and Seider, and you look at that and you decide that Wallman and Seider had a bad game, then you're not watching the game because they were so crucial to keeping that puck out of the net against the best line in hockey. And it's the same goes for the top line, or not the best line in hockey, but the best player in hockey right now, Nikita Kucherov, 75 points.
Dude,
at least at point
crazy season.
I'm just like Dylan Larkin's line was getting the same deployments on offense. And, you know,
how about Cat putting the body on the line? How about Cat blocking some shots in this one? That got the boys riled up.
Daniel Sprong with a big defensive play as well. Another player you would expect it.
I can die happy. I saw Daniel Sprong score in person. That's the dog. That's my dog. I can die happy, man. That was he was great even outside of the goal, man. He was great. He was everywhere. He was gripping and ripping, which is like what we've been asking for, right? Shoot more. Yeah, he was really, really solid in this way. Yeah, Seider, he had a couple of plays where just like his reaction time is so absurd. It's so unbelievably impressive. And yeah, was a great reason as to why you look at that heat map and all the shots were pushed to the outside.
Bro, that third line just continues to be electric too.
Yeah, they're dogs.
Kopp, Fischer, Rasmussen,
absolute dogs. Fischer tonight was all over the place.
Yeah, dude.
Kopp should have had a goal. I mean, I say should have. That's probably not fair. He had a breakaway and just again, incredible goalie play tonight by Tampa. But yeah, man, that entire line. Rasmussen had a couple of nice plays as well early in the game.
Rasmussen has suddenly remembered how big he is.
Yeah,
like, awesome. He suddenly is using that size to his advantage. Awesome. He's been great. Here's a statistic for you, Scotty, and for all the listeners, and you're going to love this. The third line in tonight's game against Tampa Bay Lightning, in 11 minutes and 21 seconds of 5-on-5 on the ice together, they had 14 shot attempts for and just 2 shot attempts against.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's incredible. That third line has found insane chemistry. That you got just absolute dogs out there. Andrew Kopp coming into his own, finally finding the perfect place for him on the lineup. And this is also the side effect too of Dylan Larkin and JT Compher's line just constantly getting the toughest matchups as well. And that's, they're your top 2 lines. You want that by design. What it does is it by them constantly being out there against the toughest teams. And obviously that's going to hurt their production. And it has to an extent. Larkin, of course, having an assist on back-to-back games, he still remains a point per game, a point above a point per game. But now you're getting the production from the bottom six because they're freed up as probably, I would say, top 5 bottom 6 in the NHL right now in terms of forward cores to score more goals. You got a Daniel Sprong breakaway goal in this one, which was awesome to see. And then obviously Lucas Raymond had the other goal, and that was just a great look by Dylan Larkin to feed it back to the late guy coming in. Lucas Raymond got a little lucky on Vasilevsky batting it in, but Raymond could have had a few. I mean, there was just so many. Vasilevsky kind of goalied the Red Wings a little bit, despite it being a 2-1 game for the Red Wings. This could have been blown open way earlier in the first or second period if Vasilevsky didn't make the saves that he did. He stonewalled DeBrincat too. Oh, Vasilevsky's so good sometimes.
Dude, he had a couple of unreal saves in this game.
But I mean, like, overall, I really struggle to find anything to complain about against the Lightning. Obviously, people are going to say, and even we were guilty of it early in the year, be like, oh, they played don't lose hockey in the third period. But really what that is you're seeing the third period push that you even watch the Red Wings do in their comeback wins.
Yeah.
Teams look at the score and say, we have 20 minutes to get this game. So they push.
Yeah, that's why Andrew Kopp had a breakaway, right? Like that's completely selling out. And going pedal to the floor offense and obviously forecheck and everything just to, try to keep the puck into the offensive zone as much as possible. And it's going to lead to opportunities the other way. The Wings just weren't very aggressive in their opportunities the other way outside of the Kopp one. Perron had a couple of opportunities where looked like he was about to go on a breakaway and then just like dumped it in or just straight up wasn't fast enough to take advantage of that anymore. So yeah, it wasn't like the give and take of them being aggressive didn't happen. It did. It's just the Wings weren't very aggressive in their counterpunch. That's all.
Didn't Perron not only there was a nice pad save by Vasilevsky, and he also hit the post in the power play, and then Lucas Raymond got stuffed on a breakaway, and then also on the power play. Like, how many times were the Wings, including again DeBrincat getting stonewalled as well? How many times were the Wings this close to like going up 3-1, 4-1, and Vasilevsky just goalied them? Like, this game was so much closer than it should have been, and that's because of Andrei Vasilevsky. Like, this could have been a 3-1, 4-1 game, and I just and there's a conversation maybe in the off day to talk about Alex DeBrincat. I mean, this is the second time he's gone on a 10-game goalless drought. Yeah. But not in tonight's episode, because right now vibes are high and the Red Wings are third in the Atlantic Division yet again over halfway through a season. I mean, there's just
right, baby.
We're here to celebrate. Lions going to the NFC Championship game, first time in our lives. Same thing we said last week when they won a playoff game. And now the Wings, when was the last time, right? 15-16, last time they were this high in the division this late into the season.
Vibes are high, baby.
Vibes are high. Scotty, I don't know. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. We did shout out Alex Lyon already. Yeah. Petrie. I think we talked about him a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, again, really, really, really impressive first two periods, and then just one of the best offenses in the NHL. Just went kind of, all to the wall there to try and tie the game up. And bend don't break, baby. You held strong and are walking out of there with another win. It's been a heck of a January for the boys.
Yeah. Again, I'll reiterate. I'll end the episode the way I started. 7-1-1 in January, 3-0 against divisional opponents in January as well. Also, Michael Rasmussen only had 0.06 expected goals against at 5-on-5 in this game. He's so back. We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow. You said we ball, so we'll just wrap it up. Same time. No, you didn't? I could have swore you just did.
Definitely didn't, but we do ball.
We do ball.
Maybe I did. My brain is fried. I've never been this tired in my life. Maybe I did.
And you still have to do Tigers.
It's all right, baby. We ball.
We ball. New episode tomorrow. Same time, same place. Your team every day.